Hi, I'm Phil Spencer, and welcome to the Move IQ podcast home selling series, the only podcast series dedicated to help you sell your property. This season is sponsored by Go2 Group, who have a concierge service that can help you with all you need, from choosing the right agent, mortgage advisor, solicitor, surveyor, even removals. Plus, using Go2 online auctions or their committed buyer service to sell your home can give you certainty and peace of mind. We've added a link below so you can connect with them. Enjoy the podcast and hope you find it useful. Hello friends, thanks for tuning in again. Today we're going to be talking about considering an offer on your house, how to react to it, should you accept it, should you decline it, should you move on? It's a big call to make. How do you know when to make it? It's a tricky one.
We do need to celebrate a little bit here first though, Phil, because obviously we've covered a lot on this season, and here we are coming into the home stretch a little bit, just a couple episodes left. This is a good thing. We've got an offer.
Yes.
So we should be quite happy about this situation. Yes. But there is the importance there of obviously evaluating that offer.
Yes, the level of
properly.
Offer. But you're right. You're absolutely right. You've got an offer. There is somebody interested in buying your house, which is a fantastic start.
So what do we need to look at? The offer comes in, and what are the first two or three things we need to consider?
I would always want to see an offer in writing, made to the agent. But I want to see it documented, so I know somebody's actually serious about it. How much is it? What's their position? Why do they like it? What are they? Any particular things that they wish to attach to that offer? How are they funding it? Is absolutely vital, and you really do need to kind of get to the bottom.
That's not something to skip over at all. Then
no. What's the cash deposit? Who's likely to be providing the rest of the finance? Have they got that pre-agreed? Is their purchase subject to the sale of any other property? And what's the background on that, if so? So it's not just about the level, the figure, the amount. It is very much to do with the background of the person making that offer.
And obviously, I mean, you get the answer to those questions. It either, on one hand, will leave you confident in the offer, or on the other hand, the flip side of that coin is maybe not so confident, and therefore you potentially start to consider rejecting that offer. Before we go into that kind of rabbit hole, however, let's talk about an offer coming through. Everything checks out, it's good. The money's right. You feel confident about it. How do we accept an offer? Is it as simple as just going back and saying, right, you're on?
Yeah, it is actually.
Good.
It pretty much is.
Right.
I think there was a degree of nervousness when that happens in the early days of marketing, that you've got a good offer from a good buyer, and you think, oh, well, maybe somebody else might offer me a bit more next week.
Right.
I think if you've in today's market, you get a good offer in the early stages of marketing. It sits well alongside what you were hoping to achieve. Snap the arm off, take it while it's on the table. The chances are the best buyers are in the market at the time you launch the property, so they should come in through your door pretty early. They should be educated about the values and what else is on the market. So yeah, strike while the iron's hot.
Do you find a lot of sellers in that situation where they get an offer for their asking price, and then they turn around and say, well, hang on, hold on, I think I've changed my mind. I might be able to get a little bit more here, actually. Does that happen often?
Unfortunately, it does. That is down to the agent managing their kind of hopes and ambitions. It does happen. I can kind of understand why it happens, because it's coming very quickly. Have I asked
particularly if it's a fast offer,
yes.
Right? You've only been on the market for a couple of weeks or just a few days, or you've only had a couple of viewings. I get that,
but
totally.
If you've done your research and you've listened to your sales agent's advice, and it's a fair asking price, and you were happy with that asking price, I mean, it is an asking price, you've advertised it, presumably that means you're happy to accept it. You want to feel naturally enough that the house is demonstrated to the wider market,
right,
and enough
exactly.
people have heard about it.
Yeah.
But equally, if somebody's in the market now and they believe it's a fair price, then they've done the right thing and come and offered you that price.
See, the price is often something that we think about with our head, but here we are selling a place that's been our home, at least for the vast majority anyway. and the head doesn't come into play as much as maybe the heart does in this scenario. Do people a lot of the time get cold feet here as well? And so actually, hang on, I've kind of changed. But now it's real.
Yes.
Like it's become real now. It's, oh my gosh, somebody actually wants to buy my home. Now I'm going to have to leave. How do I feel about that?
Well, I think that does prompt a more kind of in-depth conversation amongst the family when it becomes real. But yes, it's one of the reasons why I found the housing market and helping people move so fascinating. It's not just the arithmetic and the finances. There are hopes and dreams and memories and emotions tied up with particularly long family homes.
Let's switch gears. We've talked about potentially, accepting an offer and what that looks like, and it is a relatively simple process. What happens when we want to reject an offer? And more importantly, as a follow-up question here, do we always have to present a counter offer if we reject an offer?
Interesting one. I mean, each situation is the same as any negotiation. Each situation needs to be assessed on its own merits. But if you feel that the offer that has been submitted is way out of the ballpark, then there is no obligation or expectation to make counteroffer.
Right.
There's just no.
Right.
Nearer to my asking price, please. However, if you feel that it's a good buy, it's somebody you want to do business with, should you get to agree terms, and it's a sensible offer and it's kind of most of the way there but not quite, then absolutely go back with the counter offer. Thanks for your offer, I like the look of your position, like to do business, but I'm prepared to be flexible but in order to meet you, but not quite there, then here's a counter offer. So yeah, each situation needs to be assessed on its own merits.
Everybody likes to get a deal, don't they?
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of the time when an offer comes in, it might be with that preconceived notion of, well, I'll go in a little lower and then we'll play cricket, tennis.
Yeah.
I don't know where cricket came from there, but
I know what you mean.
We'll go back and forth a little over the net here, and we'll come to a decision that's somewhere in the middle and everybody will be happy. I mean, I guess that's just part of the game, isn't it?
It is. Good simile. It is a bit of a game. But of course, the situation that you just explained is exactly the same for the person selling.
Of course.
They probably put a little bit on the top. They probably had a conversation, well, we'll put it on at that, but we'll probably only actually get that.
Yeah.
So it is a game, and that's why the understanding of the players involved and what their motivations are and levels of commitment, how much they love your house or quite like your house or definitely got to be in that house by the start of term. All that adds to your knowledge and ability to play the game.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
And you do that, don't you? I mean, you walk into a place, if you're the buyer, and if you really like it, it's tough, particularly if you're with your significant other and you can see you're both a little excited about it, but you don't want to show, I mean, we talked about this in season 1, you don't want to get too excited in front of the buyer, right?
Yes.
Otherwise
or in front of the estate agent.
Yeah, either that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a game. It's a game, man. Yeah. It's a game. Let's keep going with the analogy of game here.
So like tennis or cricket, or just generally putting it over the net?
It's totally unrelatable anymore. But what I'm going to get at here is that, there's got to be a captain on every team, as they say. Surely your solicitor is going to play a key role in this as well now. You've accepted the offer. It's gone back and forth. Everybody feels good.
Yeah.
This is where a good solicitor is worth their weight in gold.
I couldn't agree with you more. There are expensive solicitors, and there are good ones, and there are bad ones. There are expensive ones, there are cheap ones. But a good one will make a massive difference in the speed of communication, the tone of communication, and actually getting the momentum that you need into the deal. We have talked in other podcasts about choosing solicitors and what to look out for and questions to ask. But I would encourage people to look at the Move IQ website, because we've got a panel of kind of pre-vetted solicitors who we believe will look after them on the way through. But
they're based all over the UK.
Yes, and all to different price points as well. You need a good solicitor on side, 100%. As ever, I think, Chris, that there's a huge amount to think about. You've got to be confident, or as confident as you can be in your decisions about what offer to accept and from whom.
It's good stuff. I want to commend you on that episode. You did not say the word variables. Yes, I was looking out for it.
I've said it enough all the time.
Yeah, you've made up for it beforehand. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in as always. MoveIQ.co.uk for all of the goodness that we've been going through, plus a whole lot more as well. Make sure you go check out that solicitor panel. Make sure if you are thinking of buying and selling, the property report can help in either way as well. We'll be back with our final episode of this, our third season, where we're going to talk about what we need to do
when you leave the house.
When we walk out of those
door. It's a big moment.
Doors. It is. It is. It's going to be a good one. We'll be back at you then.
Thanks for tuning in.
Take care.